What if I told you that the reason you aren't rich isn't because you're bad with money, isn't because you don't earn enough, and isn't because of the economy? What if the one thing standing between you and total financial freedom is a silent, invisible habit that you are probably practicing right this second without even knowing it? Hi, I'm Daniel Brooks, and you're watching Wealthic Voyage. Today, we're diving deep into the uncomfortable truth about wealth building. We are going to uncover the financial habit that nobody talks about, the silent killer of bank accounts everywhere. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to have a completely different perspective on what it actually takes to build a life of abundance. Let me start by asking you a question, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. Have you ever looked at your bank account at the end of the month and thought, I swear I had more money than this? You didn't buy a car. You didn't go on a luxury vacation. You paid your bills, maybe bought a few groceries, had a couple of nights out. But where did the rest go? It's a confusing feeling, isn't it? It feels like financial hauntings. Money just evaporates. Here's the answer to that question. The reason most people fail to build wealth isn't the big mistakes. It's not buying a timeshare you can't afford or crashing the stock market on a risky bet. It's something much smaller. It's what I call micro-leakage. But before we fix the leak, we need to understand the psychology behind why we have holes in our buckets in the first place. And to do that, I want to tell you a story about two friends. Let's call them Sarah and Mike. Sarah and Mike grew up on the same street. They went to the same schools, got similar jobs in marketing right out of college, and even started at the same salary, $50,000 a year. Fast forward 5 years. Sarah is sitting in my office, looking panicked. She has $200 in her savings account, $12,000 in credit card debt, and she's terrified she'll get evicted if her car breaks down. Mike, on the other hand, just put a down payment on a condo. He has $40,000 in his investment account and zero credit card debt. Now, here's the kicker. They earn the exact same salary. In fact, Sarah has gotten a raise or two more than Mike over the years. So, what happened? Did Sarah have a medical emergency? Did Mike inherit money? No, none of that. The difference was in their daily friction. You see, Sarah suffers from that habit nobody talks about, financial frictionlessness. Sarah has everything optimized for ease. Her phone remembers her credit card info for every website. She has Amazon Prime set up for one-click ordering. She uses Apple Pay for everything because it's faster than digging out a wallet. When she wants a coffee, she walks in, grabs it, taps her phone, and walks out. When she's bored, she subscribes to a new streaming service. It's $15. Who cares, right? It's seamless. It's frictionless. Mike is old school, and not in a bad way. Mike intentionally creates friction. When Mike wants to buy something that isn't a necessity, let's say a new video game or a nice dinner, he forces himself to wait 48 hours. He doesn't tap and go. He has to physically log into his banking app, look at his balance, transfer the money to his checking account if it's in savings, and then buy it. That 30 seconds of annoyance, that little bit of friction, it acts as a circuit breaker for his brain. So, the question is, why does this tiny bit of friction matter so much? And why is ease the enemy of wealth? To understand that, we have to look at how your brain is wired. Humans are designed to conserve energy. Back in the caveman days, conserving calories meant survival. Today, our brains apply that same logic to decision-making. We are lazy processors. If a purchase is hard, our brain says, "Hey, do I really need that? It's too much effort." If it's easy, our brain says, "Dopamine hit? Yes, please." When you remove friction, you turn off your logical thinking. You stop asking, "Can I afford this?" and start asking, "Do I want this?" And those are two very different questions. Let's look at real-life money examples. This is where the math gets scary but also exciting. Let's talk about the latte factor. You've probably heard people mock this idea. Oh, skipping coffee won't make you a millionaire. And they are technically right. Skipping one $5 coffee isn't a retirement plan, but that's not the point. The point isn't the coffee. The point is the habit of unconscious spending. If you spend $15 a day on little things, coffee, a snack, an app subscription, a paid parking spot you could have walked to, that's $450 a month. Now, let's run the numbers. If you take that $450 a month and instead of spending it, you invest it in a low-cost index fund earning a conservative 8% return per year, do you know what happens over 30 years? You would have over $650,000. $650,000 from small daily habits. Most people fail to build wealth because they are busy looking for the big win. They want to double their income overnight. They want to find the next Bitcoin. But while they are staring at the horizon looking for gold, they are leaking oil out of their ship. This brings us to the darker side of this habit: debt and credit cards. Credit cards are the ultimate tool of frictionlessness. Banks spend billions of dollars to make spending money feel like getting something. You tap a card, or worse, you just load it into your digital wallet and you get the item. You don't see the money leave, you don't feel the wallet get lighter. I had a viewer, let's call him David. David emailed me last year. He was $25,000 in credit card debt. He made good money, $90,000 a year. He couldn't figure out why he was drowning. We looked at his statements. It wasn't one big purchase, it was 1,000 tiny purchases. Uber Eats when he was lazy, a new pair of headphones because the old ones were kind of scratched, upgrading his phone every year because the carrier said he could trade it in for free. He was falling into the upgrade trap. The financial habit nobody talks about here is the default bias. We tend to stick with default settings. If a free trial starts and you forget to cancel, you keep paying because canceling requires friction. It requires a phone call or a chat with customer service. Companies design this on purpose. They bank on your laziness. David broke the cycle not by earning more, but by making spending harder. He literally froze his credit card in a block of ice. I'm serious. He wanted to buy something online. He had to wait for the ice to melt. Did it look ridiculous? Yes. Did it work? Absolutely. That physical waiting period gave his prefrontal cortex, the logical part of his brain, time to catch up with his impulsive lizard brain. He realized, I don't actually need this. So how do we fix this? How do we stop the micro-leakage? We need to adopt the architect mindset. You need to architect your life so that the default action is saving, not spending. Most people set up their finances like this. Money comes in, bills go out, I buy what I want, whatever is left, I save. If that's you, you will never build wealth, because there is never anything left. Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. In finance, spending expands to match the income available. You need to flip the script. The strategy: automate the frictionless good. Make saving invisible. Set up an automatic transfer on payday. Money hits your checking account, and immediately, before you can buy a bagel, 20% of it moves to an investment account. You make saving frictionless and spending difficult. Tax yourself. Implement a lazy tax. If you want to buy something non-essential for $100, you have to transfer an additional $20 to your savings account to permission yourself to buy it. Either the purchase becomes too expensive, or your savings grow. It's a win-win. Delete the apps. Remove your saved credit card numbers from your browser and your phone. Unsubscribe from marketing emails. Make it annoying to give them your money. When you add 30 seconds of effort to a purchase, you kill 90% of impulse buys. That is the power of friction. Let's go back to Sarah and Mike. Sarah realized she was spending over $800 a month on subscriptions, takeout, and online shopping she didn't even remember doing. She didn't earn an extra cent. She just stopped the bleeding. She set up her accounts to move money automatically. She deleted her card info. She started cooking. It took her 6 months to pay off her credit card debt. A year later, she had her first $10,000 emergency fund. She told me, "Daniel, I feel like I got a raise." She didn't get a raise. She just kept the money she was already making. This is the story of wealth for most people. It isn't flashy, it's boring, it's slow. It is the cumulative result of 1,000 tiny decisions over decades. We often look at wealthy people and think they have some secret knowledge or magic formula. We think they are smarter than us, but usually They just have better habits. They respect the small numbers. They understand that a fortune isn't made in one day, it's made daily, penny by penny, decision by decision. The financial habit that nobody talks about is intentionality. Most people live their financial lives on autopilot. They let the current of the river take them wherever it flows, which usually is over a waterfall. Wealthy people grab the oars. They steer the boat. They say no to the small, unthinking expenses so they can say yes to the big, life-changing freedoms. So here is your takeaway for today. I want you to do one thing, just one. Log into your banking app right now. Look at your last month's spending. Find the recurring charge or the impulse buys that gave you the least joy. Cancel it, delete the app, create a little bit of friction, take back control. If you found value in this story and you want to continue navigating the path to financial freedom, hit that like button and subscribe to Wealthic Voyage. We have more stories, strategies, and truths coming your way. Until next time, stay intentional.